Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 6.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
Yes.
Let's go.
So this is the first Christmas that Kody is with one wife and one set of kids. Him and Robyn, they open up the gifts with the children and celebrate Christmas just with them two. We see that Christine is with Aspen, Mitch, Tony, McKelty, Isabel, and Truly. McKelty says that it doesn't feel like Christmas without all of the chaos of the huge family.
Okay.
Janelle is having Christmas at Maddie's since they tend to do all the Christmas traditions like seeing the lights. Meri is spending Christmas with her friends. She and Corey are split up, so she is not spending Christmas being the third wheel.
Yeah, I wonder why Meri just won't go spend time with her kid. Like that's always usually whenever somebody's lonely or don't have friends of that or anything of that nature, I would think they would just go you know what, wherever my kid is, if they're not in the state, I just go be with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's just, I'll get back to that later within the season.
So all of the parents brought in different traditions, and now it's all gone because everybody's separated doing Christmas on their own.
Makes sense.
So we talk about Christine and her dating. So I didn't get into real detail with it since we know that she's married to David now.
Yeah.
But Christine made a point that she was always wanting more physical affection from Kody, but now she's getting it from David, including the PDA that she's always wanted. Some of the kids feel like she's moving a bit too fast. They're saying it as an observation, not necessarily for her to slow down, but she's like, that wouldn't slow me down anyway. But we find out that Christine and David said, I love you after only a week.
Yeah, I think he said it first. I will say this, right? We know the chant of this show, the chant of this season and last season, Kody, it's your fault, right? But Kody says a lot of his truths, but in the midst of his truths, there is a little bit of the truth in there too, mixed up in it. You know, one thing that is the truth is that Christine was a terrible wife to bring into the sister wife family fold. To hear her talk about polygamy the way that she experienced it and the way she views it with David and how she's basically telling us in the confession, like, oh my goodness, I have to share you. Like, yes, that's what polygamy was. So it's not hard to understand that Christine would be unhappy throughout the marriage because her true self is coming out. Basically, she was never going to be a good sister wife. She never was going to be a good teammate to the fold. So to hear Kody basically say everything about Christine, talk about I just want to see if it was possible to make you happy. I believe that. Because just hearing how she's basically like, oh my goodness, I'm like polygamy. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, Christine, you was basically wanted to be number one amongst multiple women. So
Janelle is talking to Maddie and discussing them getting property in Montana. So they're talking about possibly getting the property and building on some land together.
Nice.
Janelle plans to consult a lawyer about Coyote Pass. The last time she spoke to Kody, he didn't have his part of the money to pay it off, but Janelle has her part of the money. So she suggested to Kody that he get a loan and just finance her out. But Janelle is ready to settle somewhere. She is tired of waiting for Kody.
Do you think Cody's going to basically buy her out?
No.
I think this is Cody's way of having power.
Yeah, I think it's him having power. I think it's his pride. I feel like he's not going to want to admit that he doesn't have his portion. And he wants to, further along, we see him talking to Meri and he's like, why'd you go about the divorce so quick? I'm just like, I think Kody is just used to dragging his feet and just avoiding issues.
Yeah,
so
true.
So Kody goes to Meri to discuss their divorce. We get a kind of break in between their discussion for David talking about how when Christine and him were dating and kind of courting each other, she was very aggressive and desperate for affection. And she was like, she didn't get her kiss on the first or the second date, but by the third date, it was a whole makeout session.
Yeah. You hear McKelty, what is McKelty's husband's name?
Tony, I think.
Who knows?
Yeah.
He said, hey, David kind of reminds me of Kody.
Yeah, he did say that.
Christine did not like that. Okay.
So Meri tells Kody that she is based in Parowan. Kody says, blame yourself if I didn't love you. But this is what he says in the confessional. If he's madly in love with a woman, it's her fault. And if he doesn't love her anymore, that's her fault too. I was having a hard time understanding where Kody was coming from a lot during this conversation in the confessional, because I just felt like he was just angry and reacting to things that weren't happening in the moment.
Yeah, I understand. Like what was your thoughts when he first pulled up and like they both was like he first entered the house and basically the first time they seen each other in a while. I
thought it was weird. I was like, why does he need to be there? He didn't want to be around her in the first place.
But didn't she ask him to come?
I don't remember exactly. Did she?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I don't think so.
Right? Because I'm like, I don't think Kody would go up there on his own and things of that nature.
I think probably the producers wanted them to have like a final conversation.
I don't know.
That's what he was saying, is like, we're just going to have a final conversation to talk about the separation.
I don't know. But the way Kody is basically saying is, because, you know, Kody, it's your fault. He's trying to put fault on somebody else, even though we know the chant here. He's basically saying, hey, if I fall in love with you, it's your fault because you're nice to me. You know, you are inviting, you're soft, you're feminine. You get what I'm saying? You made me fall in love with you. You get what I'm saying? Now, if I don't love you no more, if I fall out of love with you, how is that not your fault too? Because you made me fall in love with you. I'm like, I get the logic, but the thing about it is the things you said to Meri compared to what you told us in the confessional, I'm like, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth and things like that. So it's like, hey, in my opinion, just let her go.
Yeah.
But in a way, I feel like Meri likes this. Any type of interaction with Kody, I feel like she lives for it.
Well, Meri, she brings up how Kody didn't want to continue to work on the relationship. And he said that, no, I said I could fake through it. But that is not something she wanted him to do.
Of course not.
Is to fake through the relationship. Kody keeps saying that you want me to own it. And Meri's like, I'm not trying to make this an argument. I really didn't ask you to own anything. All she's saying is that we both had a part in the demise of the relationship. Yeah. And there is no moving forward together. Janelle says that Meri and Kody were always kind of fun and goofy, like when she first started hanging around with them. But Meri is telling Kody that, look, nobody has won here in this situation. Yeah. Kody says that he got a call from the church and she got divorced on grounds of abandonment. Of course, he does not feel that he abandoned Meri because he was sticking it out.
He said, I could have faked it.
Meri says that he could have been involved and gone to the meeting with her if he really felt like he needed to have a say in what happens. Yeah. He asked why she moved so quickly on it, and Meri's like, are you serious? This has been a long and a painful process.
It has been.
Kody says that, you know, your statements are saying that you can choose, but I can't. He always felt that he had to stick it out with her. He knows he doesn't want to be in any of these relationships with Christine or Janelle, but he still wants to hold on for whatever reason he does. He's not really sure. So Kody wanted to serve Meri and to be in a loving relationship, but he felt like whatever he did was never enough. Wow. He thought he was in a normal relationship until he actually got into a loving relationship, and then he realized, oh, that's not normal.
Until I got my second wife.
Or until he got Robyn, really. So he doesn't know how he pretty much married the wrong person, or if it was just the wrong time or the right time, or whatever the case may be. And Meri's like, it's just kind of cruel to not tell the person that you're married to that you married the wrong person until decades later.
What are your thoughts on like this scene?
My thought is just, it's the same thing with Kody. Like, he cannot take accountability for his portion. Meri's not asking him to take accountability for everything, but he played a part in it, but he doesn't want to admit to any wrongdoing or any fault. And I agree with her. Like, look, I told you when I was going to go down to the church and have this conversation about separation. Yeah. If you wanted your voice and your say to be in there, you could have been there. But that's with Kody avoiding situations. Also with Meri, when it comes to him saying, well, why'd you go about it so quickly? Why am I dragging my feet, Kody?
That's true.
Like, we're not together. Even when they had the conversation, he's like, so I don't really know how to define our relationship. And she tells him, we are exes. We are not together. It's the end of us. Yeah. So,
I agree with everything you said except for one part. Meri is not being honest with the whole, like, I try to call you and, like, you could have came. That was Meri's way of just trying to basically, like, get in touch with Kody. Okay. Basically, because she's not in the church. She don't practice the church. She don't do anything in the church. But somehow, some way, you want to divorce the man in the religious way. And I understand that even though you may not practice, you may have the religious traditions of, I still want to make it into heaven. I still want to have a reward at the end of it. I want to make sure that even though I'm not practicing, I'm in right standing with what I believed back in the day. And I understand that. But I don't believe that
She still called him to come. That's all I'm saying. No matter her intentions.
But I don't believe her intentions, though. Even though she called him to come, like, you knew Kody wasn't going to come. Okay. So, like, to hold it against him, like, oh, well, you could have came. You know I wasn't going to come. I don't even answer your phone calls. I don't answer your text messages.
But I don't feel like she was holding it against him.
I don't know if it's holding against him, but I do think there's some alternative motive. Whenever it was a bad breakup, and it was a breakup that Kody already basically put in his head, like, I'm not with her. It took Meri years and seasons to basically, okay, it's over. I think she just wanted to see him and be around him. Okay. Even something as simple as when they had an anniversary last season, she was like, well, you know it's our anniversary. Well, before that whole anniversary, you knew y'all wasn't talking. You knew y'all wasn't communicating. You knew y'all wasn't together, really, and things of that nature. So it's like, I feel like her call to basically say, hey, I'm going to the church. I just want to involve you on a divorce and things like that. Kody's like, I've been over it. Like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Now, to address Kody's statement of, I married the wrong person, that's wild to say. Mm-hmm. That's wild to say, especially after 30 plus years and things like that. Mm-hmm. To say to the person, to say to us that I married the wrong person. And I feel like that's Meri's line. I don't feel like that's Kody's line. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I feel like it's more suited for Meri to say that than for Kody to say that. And so it just felt weird coming from Kody.
Mm-hmm. So Christine talks about, how can Kody have a good relationship with his basically with his other wives, mm-hmm. if he has a soulmate. She's like found David, she's in love with David, she's like falling into monogamy, and she's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to leave David, I wouldn't have to split my time up. And so she feels that with Kody finding his soulmate, mm-hmm. then of course it would never work with any of the other wives. And moving on from that, Kody Meri's talking about how she's not going to hang out with them for Christmas. Yeah. She's not the wife anymore. Kody talks about how Robyn says that Meri is family. She should still come over, mm-hmm. but he just disregards her opinion. You see what I mean? Meri feels like that's debatable. And that's pretty much where we end.
What are your mm-hmm. thoughts on this episode with the whole Meri and Kody sit down?
I mean, if this is the closure they needed, that's great. I feel like Kody wants to be in confusion. I think Meri finally is just kind of saying, yeah, we're exes, it's done. Let's just kind of leave it where it's at. Mm-hmm. Because she's gone along with Kody's confusion for years.
That's true.
I mean, he didn't want to be the one to break it off. It seemed like she didn't want to break it off either. So she just kind of allowed him to lead them in all the confusing pathways mm-hmm. of their relationship.
That's true.
But finally, she said, yep, it's over. And he's still like, I don't know how to say or what we are. And Robyn still wants you to come over. Like, no,
that's weird.
Don't involve Meri in any more of y'all's BS. Leave her alone.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Mm-hmm. I do believe that Kody do want to throw his hand. Throw his hand. He want to throw rocks and hide his hand, mm-hmm. and basically like be the reason why everyone's in confusion. And then when everybody be like, I'm confused, but I don't know. I ain't do anything. I ain't say anything. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of things in the sense of their divorce, the person that I think need to accept it the most is Robyn. Mm-hmm. I think Robyn needs to, and I don't want to make it sound so cold, but I think she needs to stop all communication with Meri, mm-hmm. because all of her communication doesn't come off as genuine. It all comes off as, hey, it's Christmas, come over. Hey, it's Thanksgiving, it's come over. Once you get out of those two major holidays, when other times are you inviting Meri over?
Right.
Outside of invite her over to the house, when do you go and hang out with Meri?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, all of it is self-serving to Robyn because she wants some type of false sense of we're still a family, we're still all together. I think Meri should invest time into her child, and invest. I don't know how she's doing up in that Airbnb or like whatever it was, her family's business.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's still going, but she feels like majority of her life's been robbed, and she's like now get a fresh start. So hopefully everything works out with her and things of that nature. I think there's still more to this conversation with Kody and Meri that we go see next week. So we will be back next week to basically hear them talk about who fault it was and when it was over, and Robyn inviting for Christmas and New Year's and things of that nature. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.